Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
I'm tracking some light rain that's starting to move into our viewing area this morning. I'll let you know if it will affect your morning commute.
New this morning around 1 o'clock, crews in Raleigh battle a fire off Old Wake Forest Road. What we've learned from the scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And a bill that would give money to Helene relief is sparking controversy in the state legislature. The unrelated legislation tacked onto that bill that could be approved today that has Democrats calling it a Republican power grab.
The Wake County School Board is looking at when and how parents should be notified if their child's class has a long-term sub. The policy change being considered as the school system tries to fill teacher vacancies. Well, no substitutes here. You're getting the real deal today. We've had perfect attendance this month so far, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It is great to have you along, making us part of your Wednesday here. So midweek, you know, we've had our ups and downs. I can't tell which end is up anymore. Temperature-wise, it's got to go down at some point, but the rain is coming down right now, Elizabeth.
It is. Some light showers are falling right down here in the Sandhills from Fayetteville on up towards Sanford and around Lillington. Nothing falling in the Triangle area right now. What we see this morning is going to be really patchy and light. It's likely to lift on up, and we'll see a little bit of light patchy rain during your morning commute, no matter where you are. But again, the amounts that we see today are going to be very light. The time period that the model keeps pointing to for some more coverage or some heavier showers comes right around lunchtime. There's 11:30, and you can see this band of rain moving on through. It's out by around 2 o'clock, but that's not the end of it. We'll continue to see some waves, and eventually around dinner time or so, we'll have the cold front come through, and then after that, we'll begin to clear. This is a live look at Fayetteville, where we've had some showers roll through. You can see the wet conditions here down Hay Street. 62 is our temperature, so it's a warm start this morning. Again, we're just going to see some kind of ups and downs. About a 30% chance of rain this morning, around 60% at lunchtime. It bounces back up to 40% during the evening, and then it all clears out overnight tonight. 71 degrees for the high temperature later today, but boy, once those temperatures start to fall this evening, they are going down, down, down. I'll show you when the wind chill will be an issue coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:01, we're going to start outside, courtesy of a live cam network. This is I-440 and Ridge Road. Traffic is picking up a little bit in those westbound lanes, but flowing nicely in both directions. Really and truly, anywhere in the Triangle and surrounding communities, from Wendell to Raleigh to Chapel Hill, all delay-free this morning. You're getting ready to head out. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. You also have a couple more options as well, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Story we followed in the overnight hours. Crews fought a fire that started around 1 o'clock this morning in Raleigh. It was on Honeysuckle Road, right off Old Wake Forest Road. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as firefighters worked this scene. This was around 2 this morning. Fire officials say power lines were down in the area. We're working to find out how much damage this fire caused and whether anyone was hurt.
A live look now at the legislative building, where today the state Senate is expected to pave the way for more money for private school vouchers. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from the legislative building. And Laura, Republican lawmakers say this will help the tens of thousands of families who are on the waiting list for vouchers.
Renee, good morning. The Republican-controlled House voted 17-44 to override Governor Cooper's veto. So today, the Senate would have to also override this veto in order for this bill to become law. We know that this House bill has received a lot of pushback from advocates and families in the community. House Bill 10 would clear a 54,000 student wait list to use a voucher to attend a private school and increase funding for the private school voucher program by $463.5 million. Public schools lose funding for every student who opts out of the public school and into a private school instead, because public schools are funded by head count. Governor Cooper and other critics argue that schools, especially rural ones, have many operating costs and they'll end up with less money to cover them. Parents in favor of this program believe this is needed relief and opens up more school choice opportunities.
I don't have time to wait for the public school system to clean up their act and make the system work for my family. My kids are growing up right now, and we need choice today.
So today, the state Senate is expected to override that veto and to pass this measure. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And the school voucher bill also contains an unrelated immigration enforcement effort. It would require sheriffs to comply with requests from federal immigration agents and detain people suspected of being in this country illegally. Supporters say it is needed to ensure public safety. Opponents say it will strain resources on sheriff's offices and hurt relations with immigrant communities.
Senate lawmakers are also expected to advance a bill today that would provide $227 million in relief money for Hurricane Helene's victims. The bill also includes unrelated legislation that would strip power from incoming Democratic leaders. Late last night, the Republican-controlled House passed the bill over vocal objections from Democrats. The bill would remove the governor's control over the state board of elections. It would also limit the power of the attorney general and eliminate state commissions that would be led by Democratic offices after this year's election. Democrats call this an abuse of power by the GOP majority. WRAL News team will keep you updated on all the activity in the legislature throughout the day. Be sure to tune in during our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL.
Police in Wilson are working to make an arrest after a shooting that killed a man. Officers responded to Freeman Street just before 7 last night. When they got there, they found 30-year-old Fernando White Jr. had been shot several times. He died at the scene. We're working to learn more about what led to that shooting.
Parents in Wake County schools could get notified sooner now if a substitute teacher will be leading their child's classroom for 2 weeks or more. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Wake Schools headquarters in Cary. The school board's policy committee will meet and consider that change today, Kelsey.
Jeff, they sure will in a few hours. Wake County school leaders will meet here at the school board headquarters to talk about a new protocol that could impact whenever your student has a substitute teacher in the classroom. So this new policy would require schools to notify parents if their child will have a substitute teacher for more than 2 weeks. This has already been a topic of conversation. School board leaders suggested that parents should be notified within a few days before a substitute starts. District leaders say that's already standard practice, but school board members say parents are not notified quickly enough. If this moves forward today, board members would have to participate in their first vote on this on November 26th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
No one was injured after a fire broke out at this apartment complex in Cary. Fire crews responded to Hayden Dawn Lane just before 8:30 p.m. That's near Piney Plains Road. Firefighters were able to put the fire out quickly. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
A Fayetteville man accused of shooting at 3 people, hitting 2 of them, is being held on a $750,000 bond. Bradley Donahue is charged with 3 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. He's due in court next week. The shooting happened early Thursday morning last week on Gillespie Street. Cumberland County deputies say after the shooting, Donahue tried to get into a deputy's car. He then ran away, and the man and woman who were shot are expected to recover.
Today, the State Board of Elections will meet to consider questions about the results in the race for the next North Carolina Supreme Court justice. Democrat Allison Riggs appears to have won re-election in a very close race. Her Republican opponent, Jefferson Griffin, is calling for a recount. He is also suing the Board of Elections, saying they're not providing him with public records. More than 5.5 million people voted in this race. The final tally shows Riggs won by just 625 votes. A recount could take weeks.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL newsroom, kind of watching the economy in terms of updates that we're seeing. This is from MarketWatch's website showing some of the things happening today. Several Fed Board of Governors members will be speaking today. It's not quite clear what they'll be talking about, but I'm monitoring that to see how investors are going to react. One thing I can show you here, U.S. futures from overnight. Let's take a look at these. They're slightly changed, but not in a bad way, right? We've got the Dow Jones up 88 cents overnight. We've got S&P up 8.25 and the NASDAQ up 26 as well. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we saw that surge after the election. A lot of people obviously excited about President-elect Donald Trump and what that might mean for the economy. But people are also watching for the potential of another rate cut come December. But the chair, Jerome Powell, has said before that he's not in the rush to do that just yet, though people are interested because it affects how we pay for things.
Chris, thanks. Also today, North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis, Renee.
We'll call on lawmakers for immediate federal disaster relief funding for Hurricane Helene. Tillis is set to testify before the Senate Appropriations Committee, and that hearing will get started at 10 this morning.
We're at 6:10 right now on Wednesday. A new local Amazon fulfillment center is getting ready for its first holiday season. We take you behind the scenes to see how workers are preparing.
And the woman in prison for killing her 2 sons 30 years ago is up for parole today. What Susan Smith's ex-husband says about the possibility of her release. And Elizabeth Gardner tracking some rain showers.
We have some showers that are showing up this morning right now in the Sandhills, but all this will continue to push across the viewing area. Everybody's going to see some rain today. I'll show you when it may arrive where you are.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, and of course we're taking a look at the showers that are going to be rolling in today. It's a warm start out there too, 62 degrees currently in the Triangle as you're headed out the door. We have a good chance for rain, some scattered showers out there already this morning. It looks like right around lunchtime we may see a bump up in our chances for rain up to around 60% right around noon, and then it drops off a little bit during the afternoon, but we are still likely to see some showers during the evening commute, so to keep that raincoat, that umbrella handy. Once the front moves out, we're going to see some gusty winds. Winds are going to be gusting tomorrow as we get into the afternoon, up to around 25 miles per hour. Temperatures will be much cooler, so we're looking at the potential for some blustery, chilly days starting tomorrow. Also some wind chill in the mornings. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes ahead of those rain showers coming in. We're seeing nothing but green showing up on our live traffic map this morning, which is good news, especially if you're getting ready to head out. Here's one of those major roadways, I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic has definitely picked up. We're moving nicely in both directions. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Pop us on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated. And of course, Renee will have another update in just a few minutes.
We will see you then, Ken. The holidays are upon us, right? Amazon's new fulfillment center in Fayetteville is getting ready for what's going to be a busy season. We have the chance to take a look behind the scenes. The 1.3 million square foot facility opened in June. So this will be the center's first holiday season. Amazon's next big shopping event starts tomorrow with the start of Black Friday week. The facility is already seeing business pick up.
Inbound cross-dock, we are pretty busy already as we are working to fill the shelves in anticipation of Black Friday. So we've seen about a 50% increase in our business already.
And that will just be the beginning for the center. The new facility is on Bragg Boulevard.
This is a story that shocked the nation 30 years ago. Susan Smith rolled her car into a lake with her 2 kids in it and watched them drown. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here, and today's update, Michelle, Smith is up for parole today.
Yeah, she is. 30 years later, Susan Smith will go before a 7-person panel about why she believes that she is ready to re-enter society. Smith made headlines back in 1994 when she said she was carjacked late at night in South Carolina by a black man. She told police the man drove away with her 3-year-old son, Michael, and her 14-month-old son, Alex, inside. That led to a 9-day manhunt. She sat down for an interview on the Today Show then, pleading for their return. Just hours later, Smith confessed to killing her sons. Her ex-husband, David Smith, spoke with NBC's Craig Melvin, and he plans to address the parole board today. He is adamant she stays behind bars.
They can't let her out. For 30 years is just not enough. This wasn't an accident. She deliberately killed Michael and Alex.
You don't think she's been rehabilitated?
I don't think she'll ever be rehabilitated.
Smith's attorneys argued back then she was the victim of sexual assault by her stepfather and was suffering a mental breakdown when she killed her sons. She was found guilty of murder, and the jury sentenced her to life in prison. Under state law, Smith became eligible for parole on November 4th. The board must approve parole with a simple majority vote in order to release her. If denied release, she could reapply in 2 years.
Just seeing pictures of her sweet boys, it's heartbreaking. Federal investigators will be in Tennessee today examining a plane crash near a busy road during rush hour. A single-engine plane crashed on the road in Chattanooga last night. It happened about a half mile from the airport runway. The pilot was able to avoid traffic. The pilot and another person who was on the plane survived the crash with minor injuries.
Join WRAL for a triangle tradition as we kick off the holiday season with a live broadcast of the 80th annual Raleigh Christmas Parade. We will bring you all the area marching bands, local businesses, dazzling floats, and everyone's favorite, Santa Claus, making a stop. Don't miss a minute of the excitement. You can get in the holiday spirit by watching us this Saturday morning, 9 a.m. on WRAL. Maybe by that time we'll have a little change in the temperature on the way, make us feel like that holiday spirit. Because right now it feels almost a little bit humid out there, Elizabeth.
We might have more holiday spirit than you would like to have, Jeff. As you're sitting there with the wind whipping around on Saturday morning. No, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's just going to feel like winter, which will be appropriate. It doesn't feel like winter this morning. Temperatures are mostly in the upper 50s to low 60s. Fayetteville seeing some rain currently. Raleigh as well as Apex and Chapel Hill all cloudy right now. Chapel Hill courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant. We take a look at our three top talkers. Of course, the showers for today. Some of the heavier rain may come right around lunchtime, but we'll likely see showers well into the evening. Wind then begins to gust overnight tonight. It'll be with us all the way through Saturday. Our highs will be in the 50s and lows in the 30s. And the wind chill is going to be pretty uncomfortable for us Friday, Saturday, and potentially even Sunday mornings. Right now, we're looking at some isolated showers for parts of Harnett County and Cumberland County. Another small wave moving into the Sandhills right now. But what we see this morning will be isolated at best. Fayetteville's been seeing a few showers moving over through Lillington, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, and down through Hoke County is where we're seeing some of that rain right now. The front itself is still in the mountains, and it's not likely to sweep through here until later this evening. But after the front moves through, skies will clear overnight, and tomorrow will be a bright sunny day, but it's going to feel much different than today. At 9 o'clock, a few isolated showers, but notice what happens between 11 and 1. A wave of rain moves through. 5 o'clock, still some light patchy rain, and then again, once we get into the overnight hours, we'll see some clearing. Look at our rainfall potential. I mean, we're talking about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain. It's just not going to be much. Even though we'll have the chance of rain all day into the evening, the amounts are going to be fairly light. We may get some snow, though, over the next few days in the mountains of North Carolina, looking at as much as 1 to 3 inches in some places, and then potentially up to 1.5 feet in the mountains of West Virginia. You can see here the purple area is where there's a winter weather advisory in effect for our mountains, but a winter storm warning up there in West Virginia at Snowshoe. That ski resort, I'm sure, is very happy to see all of that coming their way. We're going to see some gusty winds that make it uncomfortable as we get through the next few days. Our front sweeps through, and we'll continue to have that flow coming out of the northwest, making it awfully chilly. So winds will be gusting 25 to 35 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And of course, if you're headed to the Christmas parade, it's going to be chilly. Friday and Saturday morning, it will feel like low 30s here. Going to feel like 15 back into the mountains. So just be prepared for that. Tree lighting on Friday evening in Cary and in Raleigh. Temperatures will be in the mid 40s, but feeling more like 30s with the wind chill, and 35 on Saturday morning as you're headed out to the Christmas parade. Of course, you can also tune into the broadcast here starting at 9 o'clock. Thanksgiving preview looks a lot warmer. We're going to see temperatures in the 60s. And look at that. We have, even though it's going to be so chilly Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll see temperatures in the 70s by next Tuesday.
The weather course to continue. Thanks. Hey, here's what you can expect if you're heading out this morning. Nothing but green showing up on the map from Wendell to Raleigh to all the way to Chapel Hill. Here's one of our major roadways this morning. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes coming toward us. Building up this morning, but nothing that's going to make you late at all. Hey, you're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Ken, thank you. Friends are remembering the 3 people found dead in a Cary home. The memories they're sharing after the tragedy earlier this week.
And President-elect Donald Trump is filling more roles in his administration. The new names he is tapping for top positions in his cabinet.
And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We'll be back with what's trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
One of the biggest stars in tennis gets an emotional farewell.
And we have our first look at a live-action remake of a beloved animated movie. Ken Smith is here now with what's trending. Ken.
Yeah, Renee and Jeff, let's start with that tennis great. Fans in Spain giving Rafael Nadal a lengthy standing ovation during an on-court ceremony after his final match yesterday. Fellow tennis greats Roger Federer and Serena Williams were among the many to honor him in viral social media posts.
Oh, very emotional. The retirement not a surprise as he struggled the last 2 years with injuries, but when he was in his prime, what a player. Ooh. Fierce competitor, king of clay, and just a great sportsman. Just so loved by fans.
Love the clay angels there, you know. Yeah. He owned that clay.
He absolutely did. Yeah. And Wimbledon as well.
Yeah.
Well, How to Train Your Dragon making a comeback as a live-action movie. Universal Pictures releasing the first teaser trailer yesterday. The movie comes out in theaters next June.
It's been, what, 15 years since the original came out. I don't know. I have my doubts if they haven't been able to train that dragon. I mean, to this point.
It's a process.
Yeah, I don't know where to turn, with it. But live action, always fun.
All right, Ken, thank you.
Sure.
William Peace University is getting into the holiday spirit with its annual tree lighting ceremony tonight. These are photos from a previous year. Tonight's ceremony is open to the public, and it will take place near the fountain on campus at 7. You can stick around afterward to enjoy the lights with some hot chocolate and snacks.
Crews fight a fire in Raleigh that started around 1 o'clock this morning. The big response from firefighters to this scene off Old Wake Forest Road.
And some showers will greet you this morning as you head out the door. And mostly this will be light, but I'll show you when we'll have the heaviest rain roll through our area.
A man facing an attempted murder charge in eastern North Carolina is in jail after a manhunt. The new direction the investigation is now taking as the search is on for a woman who was last seen with him.